Hey everyone, hope you're doing well today. Hey, listen, today I want to tell you about some true beachfront properties on the island of Ambergris Caye, located north of the very popular Secret Beach. These properties are true beachfront properties on Ambergris Bay, some of the best swimming waters, some of the cleanest beaches anywhere in Belize are along this coast. And these lots that I want to tell you about today have recently been reduced in price and they come with seller financing. So let me give you all the details, and then I want to tell you about a study that was recently done and published regarding the expansion of services and amenities and neighborhoods on the island of Ambergris Caye, including information regarding the bridge that may connect Mexico to the northern tip of Ambergris Caye and the location of the new airstrip. So all of those things are going to be really interesting for many of you as it supports our investments in the island, shows where the growth is heading, and helps to see where property values are going and what to buy now. So, first of all, right where my cursor is in this area, there are two true beachfront lots for sale. All right. Again, overlooking Ambergris Bay, beautiful sunset views, about 4.5 miles north of Secret Beach. Here's the survey map. They are lot numbers 1 and 2. And take a look at the size of these things. These are huge, oversized lots, 71 feet wide by 235 feet deep. And these are nice, high, and dry properties. They don't need a lot of fill to get building on them. In fact, they probably don't need any fill at all because when you go to build your home, the builder is going to naturally dig out some areas for your septic system, your home footings, things like that. So I don't think these properties are going to need any fill. But look at the size. Again, 71 by 235. They're 1,546 square meters each. All right. So these are at least double the size of an average beachfront property. And look at the price. 125,000 each, and you can finance them with 20% down. All right, so 20% down, 10% interest on the balance for 10 years, right? A full 10-year mortgage, and your property payments are only 1,321.51 a month. All right, no HOA fees, no penalties. So this is a great way for some of you guys to get into the game and actually own true beachfront property on Ambergris Caye. So where are these exactly located? Well, over here at the top of your screen, you see the east side of Ambergris Caye. That white line right there, that's the Barrier Reef. Over here is Newtown. All right. So you see, if you look on Google Earth map, you see a lot of new homes being built in here. There's restaurants, cafes, major resorts going in here. A lot of exciting things happening. On this side, on your lower side of the screen, if you went to your right, about 4.5 miles down, then you'd be hitting the Secret Beach area. So you can see this is absolutely pristine. Again, the lots are high and dry, good tree coverage. Here is a view, a drone view, looking from the lots, which are right here off to the west. So off here you have some private islands, and even you have a couple islands that are currently being developed out there. One of them is called Prince Island by the record producer, not the singer, but the record producer Prince. Beautiful island. Israel and I were just out there a few weeks ago, and to see what they're doing and what they built is just amazing. Again, totally off grid, which these properties are too. So if you want to see what you can build off grid, you might be thinking, oh, I just need a little, cabin or a little hut, little casita. But really, you can do that on these properties. But you can also have a very large modern style home with air conditioning, with a pool, with all the modern conveniences that you're used to living in North America. You can have that right here because the builders in Belize absolutely can build off grid. They do an excellent job at it. Here's another view of the property. So again, it spans from the beachfront all the way back. I think it's 235 feet. Beautiful, beautiful property. And there you see Israel and I on the boats. So this is what the shoreline looks like. So you have a lot of limestone right at the surface, which is good. It prevents beach erosion. And then you also have little pockets of beach areas in and around. So you want this here, guys. Trust me, you want this little bit of limestone right at the surface. It protects the beach, so even in a major storm, you don't get any wash away of your property. All right, so what else do I have to tell you? Let me try to show you something. Hopefully, I can pull it up right now regarding the recent study that was done on Ambergris Caye. Dun, dun, dun. because it's pretty exciting the amount of time, money, and research they put in to where the growth is happening on Ambergris Key. Let's try to pull this up here. Bear with me. Bear with me. I'm just looking for it. There we go. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's try to bring this up right here. Dun, dun, dun. Come on now. Zoom, share screen. Hmm. There we go. Perfect. There you go. Can you see my screen? All right, excellent. So look at this. Belize and Mexico strengthen ties with Power Deal and Tren Maya talks. So Tren Maya, this is a tourist train system that goes through a large portion of Mexico, Quintana Roo area, and they want to extend it down into Belize. It's going to be extended on the mainland. But what is of interest to us on Ambergris Key is this announcement right here. It says the leaders explored joint efforts to advance the construction of the Zaragoza, I think I'm pronouncing that properly, Zaragoza Bridge, which will connect San Pedro Belize to Quintana Roo, Mexico, further facilitating trade and people-to-people exchanges. All right, so where this bridge will be built is on the northeast side of Ambergris Key. But what that would do is that makes it much easier to get people, of course, but also supplies and building materials much, much cheaper to the island of Ambergris Key. So the fact that this is being talked about still, it's been talked about for quite a while now, but the fact that the Prime Minister Belize and the President of Mexico are talking about this bridge means it's being put on the front burner as something that is very valuable to Belize, but also to both countries. All right, and here's another thing I wanted to show you guys. This PDF here, which I can send it to you. It's like 400 and some pages long. It's a massive study on Ambergris Key. But I want to show you a couple things that would really be of interest to you, especially to you current property owners or you guys looking to invest in Belize. You're wondering where to invest, what to buy now, what to buy for the future, where's the path of progress going. I know I'm going quite quickly here, but I want to reach down to the slide that talks about the north part of Ambergris Key. And we're going to spend just a few minutes talking about some of the key metrics and aspects of that. So I think it's coming up pretty quick here. There we go. A zoom in to the north. All right. And I can send you this PDF or this link. All right. So basically, after some massive studies looking at the island of Ambergris Key, comparing it to other parts of the Caribbean and Central America, looking at what is left to be developed, what can be developed, what is set aside for National Park and Marine Reserve, and other aspects such as water, power, uh, workers, all that kind of good stuff. They really did an interesting job and looked at how to best use the remaining property on North Ambergris Key, especially when they compare it to different areas like Cancun and Punta Cana. Now, for all of you guys saying you don't want Ambergris Key to ever be a Cancun, it will not be a Cancun. All right. So this is just sort of a land comparison and a land usage, but Ambergris Key will never be a Cancun. First of all, almost all the property along the eastern coast is already been subdivided and is owned privately. So it'd be very, very difficult for a large hotel group to come in and buy a overly large piece of property to develop. Most are smaller. So what you're going to see are a lot of more boutique style hotels on the east side, not the large all-inclusives that you see in Cancun. But what this shows, what this study shows, is how much area Ambergris Key has for development and what has been done in other parts of the world with that same amount of area. All right, so you got your population of those areas, you have workers, you have the ability for the area to sustain a certain amount of tourism, certain amount of development. And now we get into this where they researched the location for the new airstrip on Ambergris Key. And they looked at a couple different areas. First of all, the current airstrip is down here in the red area, San Pedro town. They looked at this area, number one, which is right at, I believe it's Grand Belizean Estates, Palmyra Woods, just in that area right there. Number two, this is behind Margaritaville. This is the area that was set aside for a future international airport. Number three, I'm not even sure why they put that there because that's up in the Bacalar Chico National Park and Marine Reserve. I don't ever see that as having have been an option. There was some reason they looked at that. And number four is this area just south of West Key. All right, that would have been a prime area, in my opinion. But for some reason, they did a study, and it seems like they're going to go with number one, site number one, which is just north of let's see, what would that be? Colonial San Diego, Grand Belize Estates, up in that area right there. But what we're going to see as we scroll down is they put a lot of thought into road development, how much road they would have to build in order to open up an airstrip in these different areas, how much money would be involved, the location of hospitals, emergency services, fire department, things like that. So they really put a lot of thought into this. And what I wanted to show you is for those of us who are investors in Belize, all right, I know many of us were just buying because you want to have a vacation home, which is good. But if you want to buy for an investment, you want to have an Airbnb, you have to think about your guests. How are they going to get to the property? What is their experience going to be like? Where do they want to be? And for which type of guest do you want to attract? For example, some guests like to be in the middle of everything. They want to walk out their door, have 10 restaurants to choose from, a lot to do. Others want to be away from it all. When they come down, they want to say, I want to go in the middle of nowhere. I just want to read. I'm a writer. I want to write. I just want to relax, cook my own food. Maybe once in a while, come into town, do something touristy. So when you look at those options, you say, okay, I should buy in this area based on these types of clients I'm trying to attract, or based on how I want to live, or I should be buying in some of these other areas, like the two properties that I just showed you, large lots, have the great ability to build not only a single family home, but some casitas, nice pool, gardens, caretakers' homes. A lot that size, you can really, really do a lot with. All right, so what else do I want to show you here? Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, they talk a lot about money. Of course, you need money to do all this, where the money is going to come from, where the money could come from. And like I said, I've been poring over this now for over a week, and there's a lot to this, and it's pretty darn exciting, especially those of you who are also investing in the northeast side of Ambergris Key. All right, so up around the Palm Bay area, Robles Point, Rocky Point, all that. These are just some artist conceptions of what could be built up in those areas because there are significant chunks of land up in those areas that have not been subdivided. All right, so. Hey, listen, if you want a link to this so you can read it for yourself, let me know. I can send that to you by email. So put in the comments below if you want access to that study. Really, really cool. A lot of it goes very deep. So you might not understand all of it, or you might not want to understand all of it, but it is pretty cool reading, especially if you are an avid traveler to Belize or an investor in Belize. So anyways, I want to leave you with this note. Those two lots, lot numbers one and two, north of Secret Beach, 125 with financing, guys. I mean, come on, that's a pretty good deal for one of you guys out there. So hopefully you can get in on one of them. Let me know if you have any comments, questions, concerns, and I'll get back to you right away. Have a great Friday weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.